Good morning, Toronto. I'm Stacey Stevens on 106.3 Talk Radio. I hope everyone is having a wonderful day so far, and just for all those high school students out there, good luck with your upcoming exams. We here at 106.3 Talk wish you all the best. To continue with high school students, our first topic of the day is the effect of media on teenagers. And to talk about this, I have invited longtime friend Davis Hawking to come on air with us. Davis, how are you?
Hey Stacey, I'm good. How you been?
I've been managing. So Davis, you're going into your final year at Humberside, if I'm correct?
Yeah, I just have these upcoming exams to focus on first, though.
Well, don't worry, Davis. We'll only need a bit of your time, and then you can get back to studying.
No, please, take as much of my time as you want.
As you wish. So Davis, I'm going to get right into the segment. The effect of media in your life. Does it play a big role?
Yeah, I would say it plays a massive role in my life.
Would you say that it has shaped your identity?
Yeah, I would say so to a certain degree. I mean, there are different types of media out there, ranging from pop culture to social media. Plus, you also have to take in consideration that there's some media that you take directly and some media that you take indirectly.
Okay, slow down there, Speedster. Let's get into the different types of media in your life. How many are there?
Okay, there are tons of different types of media in my life. But you can narrow it down to about 5 sections.
And those are?
Pop culture, advertising, news, film and television, and social media. And each of these 5 topics have a different effect on my life.
Very interesting. Okay, Davis, let's start with the topic that least affects your life. What do you think that would be?
I would have to say that they all play a pretty big part in my life, but I'd have to say that film and television plays the least amount.
Why would you say that?
Well, to put it blankly, it's not real life. The other 4 types of media out there, pop culture, advertising, news, and social media, is. Whereas film and television is make-believe. It's not something that's actually happening, other than documentaries, but I rarely watch those.
So, do you think that watching movies and TV has no effect on you at all?
No. I'll be honest, there are some things that I see in movies, and that once I see the actors do it, I will mimic it. Whether it be the way they act, words they say, or even what they wear in movies. So, yes, it does affect me to a certain degree.
Oh, okay. That makes sense. So is that all there is to it?
No, of course not. I mean, if you really want to look closely into it, you can look at all the different technical and symbolic conventions that they use in movies, deciding what the characters are going to wear, the type of camera angle. But for me, that doesn't really affect me. All I really care about is if the movie's good or bad, which is probably another reason why film and television has a very little effect on my identity.
Okay, that makes sense. Okay, let's keep this segment moving. Out of the remaining 4 topics, which affects you the least?
I would have to say advertising.
Care to explain why?
Sure. I do agree that advertising is effective, and I do know that sometimes in advertising it does persuade me to buy something, but it isn't something that I count on to be there, and it's not really something that I need. It is nice to see an advertisement with a new product coming out, but it's not like right when I see the new commercial, all of a sudden I want to buy that product, you know? It doesn't affect me that much, if that makes sense.
Yeah, okay, it does.
And it's just the same with film media. There's a lot of work that goes into each commercial. There's tons and tons of effort that goes into each and every new campaign. And thinking of a new big idea. But just like film and television, it just doesn't matter to me. I don't care how they make the commercial. I just care about the product.
That makes sense. But when you see a commercial, it doesn't persuade you to buy that product to a certain point?
Oh yeah, of course. I mean, if it's a good commercial, I'll always think about buying the product if I want it. What gets annoying is when they play the same commercial over and over 100 times again. Then it doesn't matter what they're selling. Whenever I see the damn commercial, I just get annoyed, which is another reason why advertising, I feel, doesn't affect me that much.
Yeah, Davis, I feel you on that. I swear I've seen the same Bell commercials 10 times already. So, then there were 3. What next, Davis? Which out of the 3, pop culture, news, and social media, have the least effect on your identity?
Well, I can tell you already from least to greatest. It's news, pop culture, and then social media.
Okay.
News, first of all, is real life. It's stuff that's actually happening, and because it's actually happening, it obviously has an effect on what I do and how I live. There is news every day, and new things are happening every day, which means that things are changing constantly. And because things are constantly changing, my life is always being affected. I would not say news affects how I act and how I am as a person, but it plays a pivotal role in my life because it allows me to know everything that is happening, which is very, very important.
Interesting.
I'd say so. What I actually find the most interesting, though, is how different stories can be manipulated into different ways. For instance, the Toronto Star and the Globe can write about the exact same story, but have completely different views on the subject. This is one thing that, when I look at news media, it confuses me greatly.
Yeah, I have realized that. And I, too, find that interesting and very confusing. And somewhat strange, but I guess it's all in the eye of the beholder.
Yeah, I guess so.
So, to keep moving on, you said pop culture was next, right?
Yes.
Would you care to explain briefly to our listener what pop culture is before diving into the subject?
Not at all. Basically, pop culture is a prevailing group of ideas, perspectives, and attitudes that are shared by a large segment of society. And in teenage terms, it basically means mainstream.
And why do you think this affects you so much?
Well, I'm a teenager, and I do like being in the loop of things and knowing what's going in and what's out. So I really like to focus on pop culture to see what's popular and what everyone else is doing. The reason why pop culture is so important to me is because it does have an effect on what I like, whether it's music, clothes, or even movies. Pop culture has a big effect on my life, and though I am an independent guy, it doesn't affect something about me. Not at all, but some, yes.
I appreciate your honesty, Davis.
Thank you.
And so, pop culture has such a big effect on your life and identity. You said social media has an even bigger influence on your life? Tell us about that.
Yeah.
How can that be?
Simple. It's everywhere. Like everywhere. I've never gone a day without social media in like the last 4 years easily. Twitter is the first thing I check in the morning, and it's the last thing I check before I sleep. It just lets me know so much of what's going on, whether it's sports or breaking news, and other things. I can check this all on Twitter, which is why I never let it go. It has become a part of me and a part of who I am. Plus, social media also includes texting and Facebook. Without texting, I honestly don't know how I'd live. I've become so accustomed to texting people to meet up and to just talk. My relationships with people are pretty much revolving around social media nowadays. Social media has just become such a big part of my life, and it dictates some of my relationships, and some of my personality can be looked at through social media, actually. It really is a big part of my life.
Wow, I never would have thought that social media could affect someone that much.
I think it affects everyone a lot. I'm just being completely honest about it.
That is fair. I guess if I really think about it, social media has a great effect on my life too.
Yeah, it affects almost everyone in a major way.
Well, thank you very much, Davis, for being on here. I'm sure our viewers loved listening to you and about what you had to say about the effects of media on a teenager.
Happy to be on here.
Good luck with your exams. Just focus on studying more than tweeting, and you'll be fine.
Thank you. Bye.
Bye, Davis. Well, I hope you enjoyed that segment. After this tune, we'll be right back on 106.3 Talk. Our next topic, the effect of peer pressure on kids.